Hey everybody, what's up? It's Patrick from Magnetic Nerds, and today I'm going back to the 80s and tackling another classic TV show, Thundercats. This video is all about how I made my own Sword of Omens. And as I like to do, here's a material list for all of you keeping score at home. The Sword of Omens began on the internet, just like every one of my other 3D prints. I went to Thingiverse and found a nifty little file to print, sent it to the Prusa, and off it went. Now, some of you are probably going to say, wait, there's a red sword and there's a gray sword. Well, because I really didn't like how the gray sword was turning out. I was having issues with the 3D printer. It wasn't the 3D printer itself, it was operator error. I needed to get some things ironed out, so I took that opportunity to find a different file for the Sword of Omens and print that one. And the second file, the red sword, turned out way better than the gray one did. Now that I have a nice pile of plastic, it is time to put all of this mess together. Because the sword printed in multiple pieces, naturally, there are a lot of seams and a lot of gaps that have to be filled. My filler of choice for this project is Bondo. This particular 3D model had the Eye of Thundera inlaid into the hilt. I did not want that, so to help raise it up, Bondo. With the Bondo now cured, it was on to the never-ending process of sanding. There were still a lot of small imperfections around the entire piece, so to fill those in, I used Quick Seal. I wanted to give the Eye of Thundera a more authentic look. It's a gemstone in the show, so to help replicate that, I clear cast the 3D printed part so we give it a more gemstone-like appearance. the imperfections around the hilt taken care of, it was now time to bring this whole thing together. For the sword, I used JB Weld's plastic bonder to hold it all together. One thing I really like about this model is the designer left a space for a dowel or a rod to be put down the middle for a core. Stage of this project is the always fun and exciting sanding and filler primer gauntlet that every 3D printer of mine goes through. The painting part of this project is where I decided to do something a little different. The hilt and the gemstones in it are pretty straightforward. Shiny metallic silver, red and blue for the stones. The blade, however, this is where I decided to use a different technique. Instead of reaching for something like all-clad or Alumoluster, I decided to play for graphite for this project. And the process of using graphite to create a shiny metallic finish is really simple. First, you gotta lay on about 3 coats of a high gloss black finish. Then use something like a polishing pad or a cotton swab, and you simply just rub the graphite into that gloss finish. It does not take much elbow grease at all to start to pull out that nice dark gunmetal finish. The last little bit of painting I had to do was a dry brush of a chrome silver just to pop out all those highlights. Last little detail I had to deal with on this project was mounting the Eye of Thundera to the sword. And now, I have yet another toy that my parents refused to buy me when I was a kid. In my quest to recreate my childhood and do everything 80s, I think the Sword of Omens turned out really well. As usual, do all that liking, the subscribing, the bell ringing. Leave us a comment, let us know what we're doing. All that fun jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Now let's have a look at the final reveal!